people joining. I see 8 people already here, and we want people to ask questions. Any question they have about green card. IBM is the king of DV lottery. And that's why I had to look for him, because he's the king of, he knows so much about it. Not that I don't know about it, but I love the way you explain it. You know, you hit the nail on the head. So you guys can bring on the questions. I'm looking, I think EBM, I have, let me see the chats. Comments? Comments are right here. I was like, where are the comments? Okay, yeah. So anyway, let me show this. Can you read that?
Yes. Is it possible to apply for the green card lottery while you are in America with asylum status? The answer is yes. Being in America or being in any green card application, let's say you have applied the green card by marriage, or you have applied the green card by work, employment, or you are in asylum, or you are just F1 student, or you are a tourist, doesn't affect you to apply for the diversity visa lottery, because that is a different path. If you win, you can even still, or you are allowed to process both at once. You are allowed to process green card by employment and green card by lottery, and wherever the one you get it quicker, you can drop the other one. So you are allowed to do that. It doesn't affect. But I want to give one disclaimer. There are some people think that because you are in the United States, you have higher chance of winning. The place where you are doesn't give you any guarantee. It is 100% random selection. If you are from Africa, you are continuing to be in Africa, regardless of where you are during the application. So don't bother people who are in America, apply for me because I'm going to win. No, you are not going to win because someone is filing or is going to fill the form for you because he's in America. You are going to win because God wants you to win.
It's a lottery, so it's a random. I don't know how they pick the number. I believe it's the computer, right?
It's a computer-generated process.
Yeah. Okay, we have a question from Kimathi Tasha. Do children under 16 go for medical test after you win?
Yes, even a child of 1 year old must be tested. But the thing is, children, you don't pay the full amount like adult. Adult usually is about 400, worldwide is about 400, 450, around that. But children, because they have all vaccination already, so you end up paying maybe $150 to $200. That is the only difference between the medical for a child and the medical for adult. But if I can go further, is when you go for the visa interview, the fees for the visa doesn't care how old is the person. Is it 330? No matter how old you are, even if you are 1 day old, you'll be paying the same amount.
So EBM, you want to let our viewers know, like, what is the amount needed, like somebody to be, when you win, how much can somebody spend in, the whole process to come here? We always say applying for green card is free, and somebody out there might be thinking, everything is free. America will take care of my journey. They will look for a job for you. They will take care of the home.
They'll give me the job. They'll give me apartment. I wish. Okay, so the DVLOTTERY application is 100% free, but after you have won, it is not free. Why is not free? Because there are costs. There are 3 or let's say 4 major costs which you need to have. Cost number 1 is what we call the medical. And the medical, as I said, is about 400 for adult and 150 to 200 for a minor. So let's say we are doing with one person who is adult. So you pay 400 to 450 medical. And that's what you do about 6 weeks before the interview. Once you are given the date of the interview is when you will be told which physician, doctors to go. You don't go to any doctor. So it's about 400. Then you are going to pay $330 US for the visa fee. That you are going to pay at the US Embassy by cash. That's why I'm putting emphasis at the US Embassy by cash, meaning if EBM tells you to pay on Western Union to send it to him, no, it's a scam. You must pay by cash on the day of the interview. So you add 400 plus 330 is about 730. So let's say 750. Then there is 220, which we call the green card fee, or the USCIS fee, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services fee. So this is the fee which is for the printing that card. The card itself is not for free. So that card you are going to be given after arriving, obviously about 6 weeks to 8 weeks, or no matter how long it is. But you have the option when to pay that one. After being told you are being given the visa to the US Embassy, they'll give you a piece of paper with the link of where you're going to pay that amount of money. Okay. That link, you have choice to pay before you come, or you can pay after arriving. So 750, 730, adding 220, that one is going to almost 1,000. So let's say it's just 1,000 flat. Then from there, another part is the flight ticket. So the flight ticket, we know there are so many factors. Are you going to Arizona or you're going to New York, depending on the distance? Are you coming from East Africa or West Africa or Southern, or from Asia? Or are you coming from Latin America? Then it depends. After purchasing the ticket, remember when they told you you have got the visa today, you have 6 months to travel. So are you traveling that day or that week? Or are you waiting a month, or are you waiting to 2 months? If you wait longer, that means, let's say 2 months later, 3 months later, you might have the opportunity to purchase a ticket for a low price than if you purchase right away. And are you purchasing going to return or one way? You have won the DV lottery, purchase one way. And are you traveling during the winter or during the summer? All those will be able to determine the flight ticket. But all in all, the flight ticket will be about 800 to 1,500, most likely, depending where are you going, when, and all other factors will be able to do. So those amount of money you have is about 2,000. But I usually tell people, so it depends again, your host. What agreement do you have with your host? And that is the conversation you need to have, because it will determine how much money you need to have. Are you going to stay for free? Or are you going to stay there for 1 week? How long are you going to stay there? So that means how much money do you need to have to start your life? I usually tell people, at least if possible, have 3,000 to start your life. Meaning you can have apartment. You can have a car of 1,000, at least, even just for going to work, or just to have something to start with your life for that first month, after 1 month. So average, you need to have 5,000 per one person to start your life here.
Please talk about the parent consent letter. If one parent refuses to give the letter, can I get another birth certificate for the child without the father's name? Please help.
That is a very good question.
This is what I was calling you here for, EBM.
Yes, about single parenting or going there without the consent of the other parent. So let's go first of all into the green card lottery requirement for application. There are two things. There is application plus the selection process. That is number one. Number two, there is a visa processing. So in the application process, there is no requirement for you to be married to apply to have a child. You can apply as long as that is your child. To prove is your child, you can apply that is your child. They don't care whether you are married, whether you are not married.
True.
That's number one. Selection doesn't care about that. And I want to add something on that. Some people usually get upset with the people who are married or with children, thinking that if there are two people, if you have two children, that means there are three people. If they are given 3 visas, that means they are taking out of 55,000 visas those people. No. If there are 5 people in the family, husband, a child, and 3 kids, it is considered as 1 visa in the total 55,000 visa. So don't get upset with married people or people with children thinking that they are taking your visas. So I want to clear that one out. So you have won. You never got married to the other person. There are two scenarios. There is one, people are thinking that, oh, the birth certificate has that name of the biological father. But the other one, what if I put the birth certificate the name of my surname, whatever?
Yeah.
Does it change? Because in the end, if the US Embassy wants it to have the consent, if you want to talk about the consent of the parent, even if you change the birth certificate, the child has the father. They will still ask you. And even myself, I can decide to give the name of my child, Benedict, Obama, whatever, Trump or Biden.
Yeah.
The name of the child doesn't necessarily mean they must to prove for me I'm the father. Is not about the name to be on the birth certificate. It's beyond than that. They can do DNA tests to prove that if they want to do. So the point is, does the US Embassy requires consent, or they must get approval letter from a father to come if you win the DV lottery? So there is a difference between a man and a woman. Remember, we are dealing with American regulations here, not African regulations where the father is just the head of the family and everything. If you are dealing with the American regulation, it means the child is a mother's child, whether you like it or not. So the father, if the father is going to travel with a child, yes, the father will be asked to prove that if the mother approved, but a mother doesn't need to have approval from a father. Why should I give you approval? This is my child.
Yeah.
Why do I need the approval from you? You don't need the approval. US.
And I think most fathers, they even require to do a DNA. I've seen a case like that here.
Because the father, yes, you have to prove, because what if you are not the father? But a mother, I was in labor, you don't need to prove maternity test. You see, that's the difference. A father has a burden to prove, but a mother doesn't. That's the big part. And secondly, that's why even in the application, when you say you have a child, they don't care who is the father. It's just what is the name of this child.
Yeah.
So they don't care about the father's side. And you don't need any permission.
Okay.
But in a civilized way, you can ask just to make it in a concerned way. But basically, the US as a government doesn't care. For a father, they will care, are you a real father? But if you go as a father and the husband and the wife, and you have a child, they don't need DNA because both agree this is our child. But if you go alone as a father, you will be told to do a DNA. But if a mother goes alone, doesn't need. I want to pose one question which people can understand why am I saying this way. There is a question people asking, what if I want to process green card alone to go to America and my family comes later? The question is, will they ask, because let's say I have a child and I have a wife. They don't ask me if I have to prove the marriage certificate and all other documentation. You can come on your own. And you can decide to come husband and a child and the mother come later. Or you can go husband and wife and the child can come later. Yeah. Depending, we'll talk about that in later. But the point I want to make is there is a difference between regulations in Europe and regulations in America. For instance, one people should understand, if you want to get married while you are in Europe, Scandinavian, German, whatever country you are, Norway, whatever, you must go and get a certificate from your country to prove that you have never been married before. US government doesn't care. If you get married here, the law stays here. They don't need any certificate from your own country to prove that you were single before. You see how they deal with their regulations. In Europe is a little bit different. So they might go, yes, I understand some of the Europe or even Australia, they might require the permission, the letter from another parent so that they do that. In Europe, they're very strict to the children. Because in the end, there is a regulation. You can bring a parent, you can join the parent. In the US, yes, they protected the children overall, but marriage is playing a bigger role than a child. in immigration. So you don't need permission from another person by law. But it's a good way, just if you have good terms, obviously you can understand, but you don't need to change the name, because if you change the name, still if the embassy wants that letter, the child will have the father, they will ask the permission from the father still. So the changing of the birth certificate means nothing.
And what I understand with the passports with the birth certificates, it's hard to remove the name, but it's easier to add a name on the birth certificate. So I know the problem with the parents, they worry about those fathers who, sometimes as human beings, and especially our African mindset is, you want green card, I'm jealous, for me to punish you, I will make sure that you don't take the child with you.
I had one case, which I was talking to people, but it was not on a green card lottery. Someone, they didn't got married, they have 2 children together, and the guy is married to American, so is processing everything already to come together. The mother said, "You are not going with my children." The guy failed to convince the woman, the mother, said, "Otherwise, I'm not paying tuition. I'm not paying tuition fees for the international school in Tanzania." So I had to talk to them. Couple of things. Number one, if you don't pay for tuition and fees, if they stay, it's your loss, because the kids will get bad education and they will come bad on you for the rest of your life. They will hate you. And again, the mother, for them denying the opportunity to go to America just because of your beef, they're going to hate you. So we agreed. You are paying for tuition and fees currently, yes. How much is it? It's about $5,000 US. So are you sure if you're in the US, you can guarantee you'll be sending the children every summer to Tanzania? Because the flight ticket for both of them is not more than 5,000, is less than 4,000. That is good. So let them be until the age of 18. They'll be guaranteed them to come in Tanzania, and then after that, it will be up to them if they want to visit or not to visit. But don't deny the right to the mother, and the mother don't deny the right for them to have good life. And I guarantee that a stepmother in America is not a stepmother in Africa. Here, if you do craziness of stepmother in Africa, you end up in jail. So, and the kids are not little babies. They can talk, they can go to the police if something comes up. So, in the end, they agreed to let the kids to come here to have that opportunity, but the guy promised each summer they'll be taking them to Tanzania.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have
the photo requirements or specifications.
Yeah.
That is a very good question. Why am I saying that way? Because if you look when they say how many people have applied for the DV lottery in the official government website, they will say the qualified entries in the diversity visa lottery is, for instance, in the previous was 6.8 million. Then the year before was 6.7 million. Then before passport introduction was 14.7, then was 14 point whatever million. So that's number one. So, but majority of people are disqualified to go through the filter, because you have to go through a wall and go in the filter to appear into the ball where is the computer which will be generating people. So people can be taking the technical knockout direct from not qualifying based on the photo. Let me start with the specification. This photo looks correct.
Yeah.
But few things. The biggest number one, the photo is blue background. No matter how handsome you look like this little guy, you are going to be disqualified. It's over. That means you are not going into the competition. You are out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are not supposed to smile like this way. You are supposed to be like a military person. Bet you are wearing glasses. If you wear glasses on the DVLOTTERY photo, game over.
Yeah.
You are eliminated. You turn around this way, game over.
Yeah.
You look up, game over.
I think you stay this way, like Betty here, with my hair.
Yes.
All nice
Yes.
and tidy.
Don't take the.
Not even. I'm so nice and clean that way.
Yes, you are okay to do lipstick and all, but the people we should say don't do the makeup, because some people before the makeup is Lemmy Ongara or looks like, I'm giving you example for, let's say it's just like look like Eric Omondi.
Yeah.
Then after makeup you look like Mr. Mobeto. Okay, give me a break. This is the same person or two different people? That's why we needed to have you, because you can appear on the visa interview and say, man, you are not the one who applied.
You are not, yeah.
So
that is true.
If you wear the hijab, don't wear the burqa, whatever they call it, the one which is until you show the eyes. You have to put the one which is here. But you must be wearing hijab if your entire life, on the religious reason, you are wearing hijab. Not you are wearing hijab only on Fridays, and the weekdays you are going to the club with a mini skirt. No. It's supposed to be yours. You become like Pope Francis. You wear that one in your every day. You're supposed to do that. So don't wear the hat unless otherwise. Don't wear the uniform. Don't think that if I look like a medical doctor, they are going to choose me. If I look like a police officer or a lawyer, I wear a lawyer's gown. Don't wear any uniform. You are going to be disqualified. Other requirements. If you use a photo you use in the previous DV lottery application, you are going to be disqualified. But I've seen myself practical, someone I applied for my nephew and won using the previous photo. But maybe they didn't catch it. So don't get caught. So don't use it. Don't try.
Yeah.
Again, if you are going to apply, the photo, we said the background is supposed to be white. It's supposed to be 600 times 600 pixels in terms of resolution. It's supposed to have the weight of not exceeding 240 kilobytes. The good thing about kilobytes, if it is above, they tell you right away it cannot go through. The other mistakes, they don't tell you. It goes, but it is a mistake. Let's say the photo is correct, but when you upload it this way instead of this way, it's over.
Yeah.
So there are so many requirements of that nature. So green card photo is a number one reason majority of people are going to be eliminated in the application of the diversity visa lottery. So make any mistake, but don't make a mistake on the diversity visa lottery photo. That is the most serious offense, if I can say is offense, for you to be denied right away from the application. Other things will be just normal, easy. Some people, they go and take a photo, print out and take a picture of a photo. Don't do that crazy thing. It's a digital photo. Why are you going to the studio? They print a photo and you use your phone to take a photo. People are asking, can I use a phone? Or can I use a tablet? Or should I use the camera only? My question is, the point is not about what type of device. Because you might go to the studio, they are using $300 camera. But someone has an iPhone 13 Pro Max, 1,500. iPhone 13 Pro Max, the capability of the camera is more than $2,000 or $3,000 camera at the moment. The specification is there. So the point is not about the phone. The point is the quality and the capability. You can have a camera, but it's a very low quality camera. So it doesn't matter what device you are using. The easy technique is this way. When you're going to take the photo, tell the person not to be too much close to the camera. Take like a half photo, be a little bit far, about 4 to 6 feet away, and then you can be able to use the photo to be very clear. You can take that one and then you can be able to crop properly and do that way.
Because it's is it
tomorrow? Tomorrow is Wednesday, October 6th. People want to know what time is it. In East Africa, will be at 7 p.m. Rwanda, 6 p.m. Ghana will be 4. Cameroon will be at 5 p.m. So you have to know what is the timeline on your location. I usually tell people, just go if you want to do exactly on that time, right? When it is in noon in New York, what time is in my country, you put the name of your country. It will tell you exactly time. But you don't need to rush, because why people are so much obsessed with exactly at that noon? Because people think that if I apply on the first day, I'm going to be a winner. It doesn't matter whether you apply on the first day or on the last day. Yes, applying on the last day is risky because most of the time website is going to be slow. But there is no guarantee of winning because you applied on the first day, or you applied on the midnight, or you applied at 1, or you were wearing a t-shirt, or you started going to take a shower first before you apply, or you did the Our Father prayer before you apply. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That is
My email is okay and active.
That is very good question. First of all, filing the address. There are two types of address. There is mailing address, the address where you get the letters, and the electronic mail address. Both are compulsory to fill those information. The only information which is optional, number one, is a telephone number. That is optional.
Yeah.
Mailing address, the address is a compulsory, you must put it. So, why is it important? It's important because you must fill it. Because if you don't fill it, you cannot be able to accomplish the DV lottery application. But is it important? No. Because there is no any document they will send you manually or physical to your home address or to your postal address. So when you say you don't have PO box, just write a PO box 1 Accra, Ghana. They don't care what address you put there. Any fake address. And you can put two types of address. You can put a PO box, or care of name of your church, put the local church, or put the mosque, put the office, put the address of your neighbor. It doesn't matter. Or put any fake address. PO box 1, put the name of your city, put the country. It doesn't matter. Or you can put the street name, just like how we do in the US. You put the street name and the house number, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. So if you don't have whatever, put 1234 Jomo Kenyatta Avenue, Nairobi, Kenya. Game over. It doesn't matter. It is not important at all. But if you put a wrong email address, you are in so much trouble. Email address is a very important information. You must put a correct one.
Yeah.
And someone asked me let's say there was on live about the email. Can 5 people use one email address? No. Unless others may be husband and wife. Because assume all those 5 people are the DV lottery winners. You have to use the same email to contact KCC. How are you going to confuse them if you ask unlock the DSC260, one email, another email? They ask the documentation, which email are they going to send to 5 people?
Yeah.
It will come one email and then you're going to be in trouble. So just use each person's email. Is free of charge to have. So why are you getting upset and confused about the email? So just put the normal email, create a new email and put there. Because if you make a wrong email address and by mistake you forget the confirmation number, you cannot be able to retrieve the confirmation number because you have to put exactly information how you wrote at the time of the application. Can you apply when in the process of getting a passport? If I want to understand the question correctly, the person is applying for the passport. The passport is in a process. Can I apply the DV lottery? 100% no. Never try that.
You don't have a passport.
You don't have the passport. Apply for a temporary passport.
Good.
If you don't have the passport book, you don't have the temporary passport, don't even try to apply. Because some people, they are going to apply. I'm waiting maybe next week. Then you get the passport, you have already applied, and then you are coming to apply again. That is a duplicate application. You are going to be eliminated right away. So, one person, you have to apply if you have the passport. The only exceptions you don't have the passport is if you are stateless, which you are not, I know, or you are coming from a communist-controlled country and you are unable to get the passport from a communist country. Unfortunately, there is no any communist country in Africa. The only exception now in Asia will be Afghanistan. People to apply because it is difficult to get the passport from Kabul, from the Taliban government because it's more than communist country at the moment, we know that.
Yeah.
Or you need to have a waiver letter from the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security that they've given the waiver of applying without a passport. And in order to get that waiver, you're supposed to be in America first. So obviously, how did you come to America? And then the last part is the only people with the other passport is the refugees with the UN or UNHCR passport. You are allowed to apply with that one. Out of that, don't apply. Your national ID is not a passport. You cannot even travel with that one, going to a neighboring country with that crazy small ID that is showing you that, no, we don't care about that one. So you must get the passport or don't apply. Someone applied without a passport, Ethiopian guy won, denied the visa. It is part of the law. Don't hate the player. You are going to be denied. Even if I'm the consular officer, I will be gladly happy to deny you the visa because it's easy. So you'll be denied the visa despite of winning. So don't apply if you don't have the passport. The dependent doesn't need to have the passport. If the husband is applying, has a passport, wife and the children don't need to have the passport to be included in the application. But if the wife also is going to apply, must have the passport to include the spouse and the children. The children don't need to have the passport to be included because they are not applicant, rather they are derivative in the application. That is a very good question about children and the age. Number one, the instruction is very clear. Write down the number of children who are under the age of 21 and unmarried. If you have 5 children, 2 are 21, it means in the DV lottery you have 3 children. You don't have 5. So only 3 under the age of 21. Out of the 3, maybe one who is 20 is married. You don't count that child. You will end up having 2 children. So the children who appear in the DV lottery application are the one unmarried under the age of 21. That's number 1. Unmarried. Secondly, what if the child is under the age of 20, under the age of 21, is going to be 21 in November or in December? The time the lottery results come out is already 21. The time to go to the visa interview is already 21. Will the person be given the visa? Yes, because the US government will treat that person as under the age of 20 and married, because at the time of application, the person was under the age of 21, was 20. But if you won the DV lottery, your child is under the age of 20, and he decides to get married, is eliminating himself or herself. In addition to that, on the aspect of children, if a child is already 21, when you put the birthday, it will not accept, because you say the child is already 21, is above the age of 20. So that is something easy. So if you add the child who is 21, that means you forged, because it will tell you the child is not eligible because he is already 21. The system is very, very clear. So don't try to manipulate and lower down that one, because the date of birth and the passport possibly, they will show the year which will be different, and for forging, that is a very serious crime. You and your derivatives might be denied the visa.
Yeah.
If you're the main principal applicant, you forged, you'll be over.
Okay. She asked about the glasses, because I never took my glasses off until now. Even my passport, I still have glasses. So I wonder where he got that. Tell him to explain more.
That is a very good question again. First of all, remember we are talking about American regulations. We're not talking about African regulations here.
Yeah.
Your passport is you and your country. US government doesn't care about your life.
Okay.
US government use it to allow, because my wife wears glass. I wear glass, but only if I want to check something very far away. But from 2018, any person applying for a visa in the United States must take a photo without a passport, without glasses. That's number 1. Any American citizen who is applying for a US passport must take off the glasses. So if your passport, you are in America and the US passport, you got 2017, 10 years later, to expire up to 2017, 2027, it will have the glasses, yes. But if right now you apply for a passport of the US, you apply for the visa for the US, you apply for the lottery for the US, that photo is rejected, is not allowed. It is part of the DV lottery instructions from 2018 to today, or it is part of the visa application photo requirement. If you go there, you'll be able to see that. Or if you go to the instructions about just the DVLOTTERY in general, or how to get the passport in America. So your account can allow, but I'm sorry, you are now playing with the regulations of the greatest country on the planet Earth, United States of America. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, people here are so grateful. You can see all these comments. They are saying that you are answering their questions really well and explaining them so well. So thank you.
I'm glad.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, hey, you have our questions answered. So when applying, can I just mention the Form 4 certificate, even if I have another university, college courses, but did not graduate? I have more than 6 years work experience.
Okay, few things. Number one, in the education category, there are these categories people should understand. There is primary education, there is high school, no diploma. The word diploma, I want to clarify to people. Diploma means a certificate in American English. Diploma is not education level like in Africa or in Asia. So high school, no diploma, it means you went to high school, you didn't graduate, or you don't have the certificate to prove that you finished. Then high school with a diploma, it means you graduated high school, you can prove that. Then there is university degree or education. University degree means you graduated bachelor degree. And then there is some university courses. It means you went to the university, whether you studied 2 courses or 1 course, then you quit, or you were just in the first semester, you are still a university courses student. Yes. If you're in masters, there is a master's courses that you are studying masters, which you call graduate courses, or you put a master's degree, or you put a doctorate or doctorate studies, whatever. So if you went to the university, you didn't graduate, you put some university courses. Some university courses. You didn't graduate. Yeah. Whether you quit the school or you are still now as a student right now. You don't put high school. You're about that. So that is something people should understand when it comes to the education. So, majority of people, when they apply for the DV lottery, they are thinking about the economy or how much money they have. So some people, they don't add their children in the DV lottery application, thinking that if I don't put them there, I'll bring them later. That is number one mistake. If you don't add your children, you might lose your children not to come to America at all.
Yeah.
And if U.S. Embassy finds out you didn't add your children, instruction number 14 of the diversity visa lottery, failure to include your child in the DV lottery application, or including a child who is not yours, you get caught, you are going to be disqualified. Your green card will be terminated. That's number one. Let's say you put your children and your spouse in the DV lottery, you won. But maybe you don't have enough money, you want to come alone in the US, and then later you bring them the children. So, they have to know that you are operating under the law of the green card lottery. Green card lottery is under specific fiscal year. So if you apply for the DV, let's say the winners of DV 2022, it means the last day to give the visas. The visas have been started from October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. So the last person to be given the visa under the DV 2022 fiscal year will be September 30th, 2022. Meaning nobody will be given green card visa under lottery blanket because of that. So if you say I want to go alone, they will come later. It means they must be interviewed in the same fiscal year of the DV lottery before that September 30th. So it depends on your case number. Your case number, let's say, is 35,000. You want your interview is June, and then let me go alone, and then September they have to be interviewed. So until you get to the interview, are you sure they'll get the schedule of the interview date before that day? Unless otherwise your case number is less than 1,000, less than 2,000, you get your interview in October this year, and then let me go maybe for 6 months later, they can come. But majority of people, their numbers is high.
Yeah.
So to say that they'll come later, that's a big mistake. You have to know that they'll get the green card on that particular way. If it exceeds that September 30th, if they want to come, they will be applying to come as a visitor in America. And there is no guarantee they will be given the visa. Not just because the father, the mother, you are green card or a US citizen, there is no guarantee you will be given the visa. So that's number one. Another on top of that is, this is my personal advice. Do whatever it takes. Come all at once in America. You have children, you have spouse. This is not like you are in the village, you are coming to town in Nairobi, or you're coming to town in Dar es Salaam from Kibondo, Kigoma, thinking that, oh, let me stay here, then I'll be sending the money. The cost you will be using down the road, now you're saying you don't have money, the cost you will be using to bring your children here will be higher than, because you have to pay for the lawyer. Number one, you will pay more money because to process a green card by family is almost more than 1,500, but processing green card by lottery is less than just like 300 you get for the visa. So you'll pay more money later. So for me, I advise people to make sure that they process everything at once. They can come here, arriving one day today, and tomorrow they can travel back. If you don't have a place to stay, if you don't have, just arrive today. Once you pass that border, you arrive in America. Then you go back tomorrow, there will no problem. Because the card will be coming to you already here, and you can come later after 6 months, or you can apply the advanced parole that I will stay for 1 year or 2 years in my country. But don't use this opportunity, they lose that chance. A green card holder applying for a spouse to get a green card, it will take longer time. It will take 3 years because you are not a US citizen. US citizen, if he's applying for a child or a spouse, will take 6 months to a year. You are not a US citizen, so it will take longer. And you'll be spending more money here, you'll be spending money there. But if you are you and your spouse here, you have the same apartment, one bedroom apartment, it will be the same apartment, but you'll be two people working. If you're working, let's say let's say you are going to work at what company? Let's say you are working with Amazon, $15 per hour, 40 hours per week. That is $2,500 per month, and the husband and wife will get $5,000. But if you are alone, you'll be having so much stress. You'll be depressed, and you're going to become like crazy here, and you might be upset with your family. So don't do that.
Yeah.